Everybody, what's going on? I want to say thank you to all my YouTube followers, all the people who support my channel, all the people that's been commenting, all the people that's been showing love. Thank you all. I love you all. Saying I appreciate you all. Thank you for supporting my videos. Now I know I haven't been posting in a little while, but I kind of took a little back to kind of revamp my channel. You know what I'm saying? So I decided to do things a little bit different on my channel now. So first I started off the channel with just reposting videos. You know what I'm saying? Reposting interesting videos. So now moving forward on this channel, I'm gonna be reposting videos and also commenting. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have a commentary, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna talk about this. Now today, I present to you the beautiful sister, Isis Wisdom. I love this sister, you know what I mean? Love you, sis. You're my big sister, and we love you, because I feel you. You know, I know your energy is real, because I can feel it. You know what I'm saying? We might not be at the levels of perfection yet. We're getting there. We're allowed to make mistakes. We're allowed to make errors, but we're also allowed to correct them. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say I love the sister, sis. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Thank you for allowing us to repost these videos. And today we're gonna get into a very serious video. This video is about the forecast of 2023, and we're gonna talk about this. Saying? So as we enter in the video, let's get into this.
Touch on the human races. The iron wanted to persist with the candle. He who does good in heaps will receive it in heaps. The broken gourd will never be filled. The Father says, if you are not happy at home, it is better that you come with me. Oh, this is a very strong message. In the land of the dead, I am a foreman. First thing that we're going to touch on is diseases that are forecasted. Presages and increases in diseases associated with the throat and the spine. So you need to be very careful putting your hands in your mouth and not washing your hands. Keep up on your hygiene, okay? Pay attention to the food that you're eating. It is imperative that you do that this year.
That's a very important one. Our diet. I keep on telling myself, I keep on telling my families, friends, and others. I keep on talking about the diet. It's almost like this message is coming from within me though. The diet, it's very important because we are what we eat. Our food translates to our thoughts. Our food translates to our behavior. Our food translates to the way we feel, you know? So that's a very important one.
Okay? The elevation of deterioration of the nervous system produced by stress. In other words, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be suffering from the nervous system due to unnecessary stress. Be mindful of your stress levels, okay? Be mindful of your stress levels. Exercise. Don't put too much on your plate, all right? Increasing conditions related to blood pressure. Again, watch what you eat. You guys are going to have to really change your diet this year, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail of that later on in this reading as to why that is.
You see, it's always been of major importance to watch our thoughts, watch our words, watch our actions. But we kind of forget, we always forget about watch what we eat. So it's four things, four imperative things that we should repeat until it becomes an habit, right? We should repeat these things to ourselves until it becomes habitual, mind what we think, mind what we say, mind what we do, mind what we eat. You know what I'm saying? Very important. You know, we should teach these things to our children. Repeat it every day. Repeat it like a mantra. Sing it in a song. Read it in the form of poetry. You know what I'm saying? It's time for us to start taking responsibilities of ourselves, you know? Yeah.
But you are going to have to change your diet. I cannot stress this enough. This is going to be imperative. Because when I drop on what's getting ready to happen this year, you guys are going to be no more good. And you have to be physically fit enough to be able to deal with the things that are coming. Okay? Vector-borne diseases. So there's going to be more diseases that's going to be appearing out of nowhere. So make sure that you're taking good care of yourself and taking good care of your hygiene. If you have spiritual practices, make sure you step your game up. Stay in touch with the priests that you work with or practitioners. If you are a practitioner yourself, make sure that you keep yourself on point with your practices. Make sure you set up your ancestral altars if you don't have them set up. If you do have them set up, make sure you tend to your ancestral altars and make sure you give them their offerings of food, water, alcohol, and anything else that they like on a consistent basis. As I told you once before, that is your first line of defense. So
this is another important thing. This is also very imperative. Saying, you see, some black people, so-called black people, I'm just going to use the term black people, right, for lack of a better word, because I want everybody to understand what I'm saying, my message. So
these things are our customs, you know what I'm saying? We just forgotten them, you know?
To always worship our ancestors. Worshipping our ancestors is equivalent to worshiping self. You know what I'm saying? Because we are our ancestors. We are a product, or the product of our ancestors. We inherited their ways, their behaviors, their features. Seeing? You understand? So therefore, our spirit is one, our soul is one, so we are our ancestors. When our ancestors leave this plane physically, they literally dwell inside of our bodies. You know what I'm saying? So this is very important. It's very important for us, all black people. We all must have what's it called? An altar. We all supposed to have an altar set up somewhere in our home. You know what I'm saying? Where we feed our ancestors, right? Where we burn incense to our ancestors. If your grandma died, if you know that your grandma loves, say for example, she loved rice and peas, even if she loved rice and peas and chicken, if that's what she loved, if you don't eat that, you buy it and you put it on the altar for her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You give her what she likes and you pray for what you want, and she will give you what you want. Just like that, she'll bring the answers to you. You know what I'm saying? Right? If it's self-defense, it's the same thing as the sister said. Our ancestors is the first line of our defense. Remember, they were living on this physical plane. So they have experience of this earthly plane. They know what's up. So it would only make sense. It only makes sense to connect with them. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we need our paths to be cleared. Sometimes we need assistance. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that. We need assistance with our health. We need assistance with some more money. So linking up with the ancestors is the way to go, black people. If you're not doing this, better start doing it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what to do, you go on YouTube, how to communicate with my ancestors. There's a lot of videos on there. Work with the one that you're feeling. Whichever video you feel comfortable with, that's the one you should work with. You know what I'm saying? If you're afraid, if you're still in the energy of fear, you need to pray and ask the God. I'm using another word, the God word, so people can understand what I'm saying. You need to pray and ask the God within you for guidance. You need to pray and ask the God within you to release the energy of fear and replace it with the energy of knowing, with the energy of greater knowledge, greater understanding, greater patience, greater wisdom, you know?
Make sure that you take your spiritual bath at least once a week. I would even go as far as saying take your spiritual bath at least twice a week. Okay? If you don't know anything about spiritual baths, I'll give you the most basic one that you can possibly receive. The saltwater bath is very, very powerful. You can get some sea salt, put it in some water in a bucket or a bowl, and begin to start washing yourself with it. It's one of the easiest ones that you can utilize. Now, for some of y'all who like to add herbs and Florida water and other things to it, that's fine. But I'm just giving it to those who are not aware of spiritual baths and how you can do a very powerful spiritual bath by just using sea salt and water. Saltwater baths are the most powerful. Okay? You need to make sure that you take preventive health measures in the country as a priority to limit the proliferation of contagious diseases. This is imperative. I can't stress this enough. You guys got to be very, very careful this year when it comes to that. Okay? You have got to make sure you're taking care of your health. Wash the food off before you cook it. Make sure you're doing that. Don't just cook your food, wash your food off, and then cook the food. Eat in more instead of eating out. Okay? Now, I'm going to let you guys know some things. There's going to be some excessive use of biochemicals in the food, the fruits, the meat, and food in general. And there are strong, harmful consequences for your health. In other words, let me put it to you in layman's terms. They're poisoning the food supply intentionally. That means that you have to be very diligent about the things that you're eating. You cannot trust to be out here eating out anywhere. I would suggest you start growing a garden. I suggest you step your game up. And I want to be clear about something. You guys should have figured out by now that things are never going to be the same again. You should have figured out by now that you cannot move the same way that you used to a couple years ago. You should have figured this out by now. And if you haven't figured this out by now, I suggest you guys step your game up and get to moving accordingly. Because what this is going to do is it's going to be a natural selection process. Those who do not have the ability to adjust to the changes that are taking place will exit themselves right on up out of here. That's how this is going to go. Now, I spoke on this on my live yesterday when I talked about intelligent design. So even though you have individuals out here that are nefarious, that are plotting on humanity on a consistent basis and has an agenda to depopulate humanity on the grander scale of things, there's also the issue of Gaia cleaning up everything off the planet that does not match her frequency because of the direction that Gaia is going. I'm going to elaborate more on this later. Okay? I told you guys and I warned you guys about this for the last 3 years. I warned you guys about this. So now what's happening is they're poisoning the food supply. And now they're going to see who's actually has enough common sense, okay, enough inner strength and the wherewithal to understand that the world that they thought that they knew has completely changed. And do you have the fortitude to be able to adapt to the changes that are taking place? If you do not, you would take yourself right on up out of here with the food that you're eating. So they're starting with the food supply.
This is not a joke, y'all. This is not a joke. This is for real, for real. You know what I mean? This is for real, for real. Most of you are aware of artificially grown food. You go in the supermarket, for example, the lime, Lime. I've seen a lot of limes with no seed inside versus lemon. When I buy lemon and I cut the lemon, there are seeds inside. So I notice that more and more, I'm seeing more and more fruits without seeds, you know. But it's all coming to an end. It's all coming to a closure. Again, we have to be very careful of how we use our words. So even though we are receiving the message and conveying the message, we should always try to end the message favorably or in our favor. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Preach on, sister. We love you.
Okay? I suggest that you guys get on a serious detox. I would suggest that you get with your holistic practitioners. I suggest that you start off with a 10-day cleanse and then go into a liver cleanse, so that way you can begin to start seeing results. Most people don't even know how to detox properly. You need to be detoxing yourself once every 3 months. You need to get those metals up out your system on a consistent basis. Metals that are in the air, metals that are in the food, metals that are in your car when you're running your air conditioner if you're just running air. The metals from there also gets in your system. You want to make sure that you're detoxing these things out of you on a consistent basis. Okay? You also need to be careful of your Wi-Fi usage, how much time that you're spending on the internet, how much time that you're spending on the phone, how much time you're spending on social media. You need to be mindful.
You know, something that I started to do more often. I was always doing it, but what I started to do more often, I turned my phone off on Saturdays and Sundays. So my phone is off on Saturdays, my phone is off on Sundays. What I've noticed with my phone off, with all devices off, I get the time to connect with myself, right? I literally get the time to think, right? I get to close my eyes, go into that quiet moment, and I get to hear what's going on inside my body. I get to hear my heart beating. I get to hear the blood pumping through my body. To be honest with you, we can hardly connect like that when the phone is on. Real talks. These little things we take for granted, but that's where the magic happens, man. You know what I'm saying? In the quiet time, that's where the magic happens. Quiet time is very important. We should start treating quiet time like currency, like, oh, we treat money, right? That's how we should treat quiet time, you know, in my opinion.
Every single thing that you do this year, you must be present, you must be mindful. Okay? You must. Let's get these lights up. I got a lot of people on this live tonight. No reason why I shouldn't have more lights. Let's step it up, y'all. Let's step it up. I want to get this message out to everybody that has the ability to listen to this live. This is a very important live. Okay? All right. You can also report.
She's absolutely right. If you forgot to hit the like button as you come in, remember to hit the like button. If you didn't hit the like button yet, hit the like button. You don't know, drop a comment, you know what I'm saying? Share it, you know what I'm saying? Share the knowledge. You don't know.
These chemicals, some of you guys might test your food. If you see that there's harmful chemicals in the food, you can also report it to the authorities. Okay? You can also report it to the authorities to let them know there's some things going on with the food supply, so that way they can come and check it out. All right? It talks about needing a change. Everybody needs a change in mentality that facilitates development of new social economic perspectives. In other words, you got to start changing your perspective on how you've been moving. How you've been moving. Because if you don't adapt to the changes, it's going to be rough for you. So pay attention to your surroundings. Open up your mind and expand it and be open to new ideas and new concepts in living. Okay? You can promote economic possibilities in agriculture and industrial production. So for those of you that are into that, such as farmers, if I got any farmers or those who grow their natural stuff, their natural vegetables and things like that, you can definitely start legally promoting. Okay?
Yeah, I should talk about the farming. So one of the easiest ways to do farming right now If you all didn't know, I know some of you all know, but it's hydroponics farming. Hydroponics farming. You know what I'm saying? YouTube it. You'll see hydroponics farming. You know what I'm saying? I have a video on my channel about hydroponics farming, so you can check that out on my channel. Hydroponics farming. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
They start promoting, like you see so many people out here, a new way of living, gardening, growing your own vegetables, things of that nature. Okay? There's going to be a lot of natural disasters this year. A lot of hurricanes. They're not going to be normal hurricanes. A lot of sea turmoil. A lot of rivers flooding. Okay? There's going to be a lot of economic and human losses in the process of this. I warned you guys in the previous live. I told you guys that things were going to start happening. Okay? On a much more grander scale. So I need you guys to be mindful of the weather. When they give you a forecast of something that's coming, it's better to be safe than sorry. Don't sit around here and play with it, because the storms of today aren't going to be those storms of yesterday anymore. This is going to be on a whole different level. So don't take it like, oh, okay, well, I've been through this before, blah, 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 blah. It could cost you. Okay? So be on point with that. Keep your head on a swivel. All right? It speaks about the concern about the aging trend of the population. It speaks about a mass exodus taking place. There's going to be mass exodus taking place outside the United States. A lot of people are going to be leaving to go to Mexico and different countries. Okay? I'm letting you know that right now.
Yeah, I should talk about the Exodus. For most of you all who didn't know, we are in the days of the Exodus. You know what I'm saying? So, I read the Bible, but I read the Bible with great discernment, and I read the Bible with higher intelligence. I read the Bible with selflessness, effortlessness. So therefore, when I read the Bible, I understand the message, the real message being conveyed to me, you know, because I feel it. No, in my opinion, the Moses story, in my opinion, there has to be a physical Moses. Most historians would say that Moses was not real, that Moses is just an energy, you know, basically. Just like how we would say Christ is an energy. So therefore, if we can raise our energies to the Christ frequency, therefore we become Christ, no? Yes. So likewise, if we can raise our frequency and our vibration to Moses' frequency and vibration, therefore one can become a Moses, whether female or whether male. So that's my understanding of that. I absolutely know that if we can raise our energy to the vibration and the energy of Moses, then therefore one is declared as Moses, as a Moses. So we have to have a Moses in the physical flesh representing us, teaching us, you know? Yeah, in my opinion.
A lot of the youth are going to be leaving. There's going to be also a lot of youth inside the United States and other parts of the world that are not going to have any support due to the exodus, due to their leaving. Okay? There's also going to be a massive decrease in the birth rate this year. Y'all already know why. Y'all already know why. Y'all already know what was done. Okay? There's going to be a lot of exoduses of teachers that are going to be moving to other occupations. The education of children and youth is going to be pretty much non-existent in the way that you perceive it to be. Because there isn't going to be any teachers sticking around long enough to teach anyone because of all the corruption, not to mention the high inflation, not to mention the massive amount of stress, okay? There's going to be an increase in violent criminal activities and robberies that is expected. So it is recommended to take precautions with individuals and state properties. individual properties that you may have, such as your car and other thing else that you have. Make sure that you take precautions when it comes to these things. There's going to be an increase in alcohol consumption in the population that generates social problems. So the damage associated with it will be disclosed more. So you're going to start seeing more people lashing out, acting crazy, drinking a lot of alcohol. Okay? You're going to see a lot more disturbances taking place. Also, there needs to be, well, there's a recommendation here. There needs to be more educational work, more information put out about domestic violence. There needs to be more respect for women and children and the elderly this year, okay? But there needs to be more education to a lot of women out here that are suffering from domestic violence, because a lot of these women don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know how they're going to get out of their situations. So there needs to be a lot more education in regards to that. All right. Promote the union of your spirituality, no matter what it is, whether it's religion or whether it's spirituality. Your spirituality or whatever you're doing religious-wise needs to come to the forefront. All right? So those that you need to be more spiritual. In other words, you need to be more spiritual now than ever. Okay? There needs to be relationships strengthened between the Father and the Son, the Godfather and the Godson. That masculine energy needs to be healed. There needs to be more of an increase in that. There's going to be fellas. There's going to be a lot of to the men this year, not the women, but the men. I'm going to ask you that if you have it in you, that please open your heart up and become mentors to these young men. A lot of these young men don't have fathers because they're locked up, or their fathers aren't here, or their fathers are not taking any kind of responsibility to take care of their children. So if they reach out to you, please don't turn them down. Please become a mentor to them so they have some kind of guidance. Okay?
We have to take care of our babies, yo. We have to take care of our babies. You know what I'm saying? And even if we didn't biologically bring forth that child in the world, we have to become fathers of other children and mothers of other children. We have to protect our own. We have to look out for each other as a people. Black people, I'm talking about black people. We have to look out for each other as a people. You know what I'm saying? We're always minding other people's business. It's time for us to mind our business. Look out for ourselves. Start looking out for our people. You know what I mean? Stop the backbiting. Stop the bad minding. Stop the jealousy. And let's work this out. Let's work things out, man. It's a new day, black folks. Let's work things out. Let's start over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we are the big sisters and the big brothers in this. You know what I'm saying? We are the elders in this. So we need to start over. We have responsibility.
There's a lot going on, y'all. There's a lot going on. Now let me get into my notes about these downloads that I got.
All right, so this is I'm gonna end the video here. This is part 1 of 2023's forecast. The forecast for 2023. I'm gonna end the video here, and I'm gonna be dropping a part 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be dropping a part 2. All right, so look out for the part 2 video, y'all. I love you all, see me? Bless up on yourself. Stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? Remember, mind your thoughts, mind your words, mind your action, mind what you eat. Sin? Yeah. Later. Love you all. One love. I leave you for a while.